Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you again for our time together. It's going to be a beautiful Sunday in God's house today. We continue to study the doctrine of raising the dead out of Acts chapter 20, Paul in the city of Troas. But right now, I want us to ask a question and try to give part of an answer. Why do church kids go bad? Why do preachers' kids go bad? Why do preachers' kids go legendarily bad? They even wrote a song when I was a young man called "The Only Man Who Could Ever Move Me Was the Son of a Preacher Man," referring to the sexual immorality of a pastor's kid. Sometimes we call them PK. Why does this happen? Well, I want to give you part of the answer today. And we find it in the story of Eli and his wicked sons in 1 Samuel chapter 2. I'll just read one verse to get started. Eli's sons were wicked men. They had no regard for the Lord. Now here were young men that had been raised in the house of God. Here were young men that had responsibilities in God's house to receive the offerings and offer they had a responsibility to minister to the people. They were ministers. They were even pastors, so to speak. But they were wicked men who had no regard for the Lord. Now notice the awfulness of their lives. In verse 12, they're called wicked. Verse 12, no regard for the Lord. Verse 17, they treated the offerings with contempt. They treated the offerings as if it belonged to them and took the best part for themselves. And they slept with the women, verse 22, who served in the tent of meeting. They were sleeping with the workers of the church. Now, you look at all this and you go, man, here they are in the presence of God. Here they are, the temple at that time is still at Shiloh. Here they are in the face of the Ark of the Covenant. They're seeing miracles happen all around them. They're seeing demonstrations of the presence of God all around them. How did these guys become wicked, treat the offerings with contempt, no regard for God, and even having sex with the women workers that served there at Shiloh? How in the world did they go so bad? Well, I think you see a systematic problem in how Eli raised his sons. In chapter 2, verse 25, the scriptures are very clear about how he treated his sons. God said he had sons, however, did not listen to their father's rebuke. His sons did not listen to their father's rebuke. Now, the first thing that we have is a problem that Eli corrected his sons, but he did not stop his sons. There were no consequences. He literally tolerated their actions. He would yell at them for doing things wrong, but he would not stop it. Secondly, we saw that Eli honored his sons more than God. Now, forgive me, that's a violation of the Levitical covenant, for which, this is why he lost the anointing on his family for ministry. And he participated in the corruption. No, Pastor, he did not. In one sense, he did not, and in another sense, he did. He did not treat the offerings with contempt. He did not go out and have sex with the women, that were serving there. But what he did do, he said, "Why do you honor your sons more than me by fattening yourselves on the choice parts of every offering made by my people Israel?" He ate the food. He ate the fruit of their sins. They brought him their corruption, and he participated in it. Now let me apply this to our lives for a minute. Oftentimes, church kids and pastors' kids live in the realm of forgiveness rather than in the realm of consequences. There are no consequences for their actions. Everything's about forgiveness and love. When I was a young boy, if you shot your mouth off and said something rude to another guy's girlfriend, you were invited outside. And they said, "Let's go outside." And literally, when you were invited outside, that meant you were about to get educated with a little bit of a painful education. So you learn to be respectful in how you spoke to people. Oftentimes, church kids, because you can't invite them outside, they don't learn about consequences. And their parents always forgive them and always want to love them. But they live in the realm of forgiveness and not the realm of consequences. And because of that, they stop listening. They don't listen to correction because there's no teeth in the correction. They stop listening to the correction because they know how to work the system. We'll cry, we'll ask mom and dad's forgiveness, we'll cry, we'll ask people's forgiveness, everybody will forgive us, but they don't change. They are always being restored, but never being changed. They've just learned how to game or how to work the system. Now, if we want to raise good church kids, if we want to raise good pastors' kids, we have to make sure that they understand there are consequences, that there are teeth behind the words, that if you don't listen, there are consequences.